Taiwan. I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A forest fire has been reported in Taiwan as the historic drought continues to worsen. While the stricter water rationing measures have affected people's daily lives, the lack of rainfall has taken its toll on species that are less visible and less able to ask for help. Zhang Bentrist has more.
Nantou County in central Taiwan is a hotspot for viewing fireflies. These mesmerizing creatures usually appear around mid-March, but they have yet to show up this season. That's because of a severe drought spreading across the country. The things fireflies eat, like snails, worms, and slugs, thrive in wet climates, but without normal rainfall, they have much less to survive on.
因为今年鱼特别的少，拢无落雨，萤火虫它也是要有水才能够生活啦，尤其是它的幼虫里面啊，一寡在食物件拢在水底内底较济，而且今年就较少。
Meanwhile, Kaohsiung in southern Taiwan has reduced the amount of water it supplies to residents. The government there is limiting the opening hours at places like swimming pools and incineration plants to conserve as much water as possible.
把第一场次跟第四场次的时间的那个场次取消掉，那我们只开放第二场次跟第三场。高雄市的86吨每天86吨的一个游泳池的供水量来讲的话，我们大概可以减少到一半哈。
On Thursday, a fire broke out in a forested area of Hsinchu County. Luckily, firefighters were able to contain and put out the blaze. They are still investigating whether the fire was caused by the drought, but they say the shortage of water made doing their jobs much more difficult. Andy Xue, Irene Wu, and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan doesn't have enough qualified students for the latest application cycle for vocational universities. It's around 50% of the spots provided by the 20 technical schools countrywide were left unfilled. Joyce Sun explains why the drop in students completing vocational degrees is a problem for the entire country.
This is vocational high school student Yu Caixuan. She specializes in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. At last year's National Skills Contest, she came in third place and won a spot at her top choice school, Taipei Tech. But she said the grueling competition made her doubt her abilities.
比全国赛的话是比12个小时，然后就是会觉得很累，然后又觉得他们做的东西都比我还好，然后成果也不是我想象的那么的好，所以就觉得说我可能不太适合这里。
Trade schools have traditionally been a less popular choice among students and parents around the world. In the U.S., prestige is a big factor driving young Americans away from apprenticeship programs and can result in some relying on student loans to get a more coveted and expensive degree. Government census data show that about 1 in 5 American adults are carrying student debt. Some studies show that North American high schoolers avoid a career in the trades because they think it requires too much physical work. But in Taiwan, vocational schools seem to have run into another problem. In this year's college admissions cycle, there were 490 spots open at 20 technical schools countrywide, but 260 spaces were left unfilled as many applicants were underqualified. This is part of a falling enrollment trend, and according to a dean at Taipei Tech, even those who do make it in aren't giving it their all.
I can tell their academic performance is not that good, and also the attitude is also not that good. And they are not like the previous student, that hardworking student. So right now we need to spend more time to motivate them to study hard.
According to Zhuang, the drop in qualified and motivated students completing vocational degrees is a problem for the entire country. Taiwan's economy is heavily reliant on technical industries like semiconductors and electronics that need skilled workers. The country's critically low birth rate also means there will only be fewer students in the future, not more. In previous years, the government had pushed reforms to encourage more students to consider vocational schools, but Taiwan will have to be more creative to ensure young people graduate with the skills the country needs. Patrick Chen and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
Facing what many chicken farmers describe as the worst egg shortage they've ever seen, the Taiwan government has proposed upgrading chicken farms as a long-term solution. While many experts agree it's a necessary move, they also said a lot more has to be done. Yu Jinhuang has the story.
3 chickens kept in a cage smaller than a piece of A4 paper. That's how most of the 31 million egg-laying hens in Taiwan are raised. Densely packed, exposed to wild birds and dramatic temperature changes. If one hen dies of bird flu, then the rest are most likely not going to survive. An ongoing egg shortage has placed the poultry industry under scrutiny. And changing traditional farms like this one into closed structures has become the government's top goal, especially for smaller farms.
以一半的方式来补助，那每场不超过450万。那如果要改建成密闭水帘式的，那我们一场是1000万。那另外，针对5万只以上的这些大型的养禽场，那我们提供的是专案农贷2年的利息补贴。
The government plans to spend more than $34 million to upgrade 200 chicken farms in the next 3 years. But the Environment and Animal Society of Taiwan said some of that money should help farms to go cage-free, as Taiwan will eventually need to catch up with countries that prioritize animal welfare. The animals' well-being aside, cage farming also poses health concerns to humans.
你如果关在笼子里面，这样它是一辈子不可能洗澡，它不洗澡就会身体有问题就会有这个对身体会有积湿等等，那你就要用药用药就会有药物残留。
I'm at a chicken farm in Miaoli that both the government and animal welfare organizations would approve of. Chickens housed in these sheds have limited exposure to wild birds, and the temperature inside is controlled with cooling pads. There are more than 2,000 egg farms in Taiwan. Only 1.3% among them adopt enclosed barn raising. A pioneer in the country's industry, the owner of this farm said it all began with a simple thought.
过快乐，饲的人快乐，食的人嘛快乐，伊的家人快乐，这是咱上主要，拄开始咱想要做的代志。
Here, barn-raised chickens have a certain space to roam and relax, which helps to boost immunity, and they even get to listen to music. Lin said their favorite is Justin Bieber's. With these advanced facilities, farmers can control the light, temperature, and humidity with just a few clicks. It's particularly helpful for a climate adverse to raising chickens. But it costs about $300,000 to build a barn like this one. Too risky of an investment for some farmers.
这些蛋农大部分都是60几岁、70岁，他觉得我现在能够糊口就好了，更何况我投资了1000万，这1000万到底要什么时候回收？那我的儿子也没有要接班，那我这样的投资划算吗？
To really move the poultry industry forward, experts believe that the key lies in convincing the younger generation that there's great potential in the industry. If young people see that new farms require less labor but more management skills, then they might see it as a profitable profession. It's the right time for the government to lead a change, but egg farmer Eric Lin said soft power also needs renewal.
这软体更新就是把我们的年轻人带进来，传承我们现在所有的技术跟经验，让他们同时相对的学习以后，奠定我们现在所谓的基础，整个产业它的升级就可以稳定。
Beyond upgrading facilities and recruiting younger farmers, the poultry industry wants the government to set better policies. They want better disease prevention systems and more resources put into developing domestic egg-laying chicken species. Should all that be achieved, the farmers believe that Taiwan won't need to import eggs as a short-term shortage solution. Taiwan could instead become an egg exporter. Andy Xie, Klein Wang, Pichi Zhang, and Yujin Huang for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Ethan Liu, and I will see you next time.